Arcane Gale! Ha! Now! Yuna, now!
Yes! Ha! Ha! It's my turn! Cha! Cha! Let's get him!
An opening!
Yes! Arcus activate! It's my turn! Arcus activate! Yeah! Oh, did we win?
Arcane Gale! Ha! Now!
They're mine! Here I go! You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him!
An opening!
Leave it to me. Pierce through! Rosetta Arrow! Let's do it! I've got you! This is it! It's my turn! Ha!
Take this! Now!
They're mine! There! Oh, did we win? Oh, what a wonderful-looking treasure chest.
Now's our chance! Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation!
You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him!
An opening! I'm up! Roar! Healing Strike!
Yes! Pierce through! Rosetta Arrow! Let's do it! Let's go! Understood! Ha! Yeah! Let's go! It's mine! Ta-ta! Ha! Now! I've got you! This is it! It looks slow. What a passionate foe.
Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation! Arcane Gale! Ha! Now! Yuna, now!
Understood! Here I go! You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him!
An opening!
Leave it to me. Pierce through! Rosetta Arrow! Now! I've got you. I'm going. Ha! There! Good work, everyone.
Ooh, a treasure chest.
Now's our chance!
Wide open!
An opening! All right, nice work.
We've made it outside again, but... it feels different from the last time.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go. It makes no difference who's waiting for us. We'll meet them head on.
Daunting foe.
Watch out! This is a tough one.
Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation! Arcane Gale! Ha! It's down! Let's go, everyone!
Understood!
Yes!
All right! Take this! Wide open!
An opening!
Yes! Let's go! I'm going! Ha! Yeah! Yes! Ha! Let's do it! I've got you! Yes! Oh, did we win?
All right, got it!
I grew a little. ready to go anytime.
Who's finally here?
Your Highness.
We stand before you as members of the Radiant Wings, Thor's Class 7.
The Radiant Wings? My, what a fanciful name. Straight out of some fairy tale or another. Yet as we speak, the real world is ablaze with war. Those flames feed the Imperial Fortress, magnifying its power and hastening the Great Twilight's climax. It is at that moment that the rivalry of the Seven will reforge the Septarian of Steel, all for the sake of the reborn Lionheart Emperor, Chancellor Osborne!
So you knew.
I doubt His Majesty would have told you.
I had a vision when I first joined the Iron Bloods. Perhaps it was the Arnor blood flowing through my veins, resonating with the soul of my ancestor. What I saw only renewed my conviction that this path was the right one. The most powerful Chancellor in Erebonian history, and its greatest Emperor. This is the man I've chosen to follow. Can you even imagine what an honor it is to walk in the footsteps of such greatness? To contribute to his cause? No. Of course you can't.
Your Highness.
He's completely lost it.
Yes, he may have lost his senses, but he's still both powerful and dangerous.
What a time to be alive, right? There's so much action going on down on the surface. I'm sure Daddy and the others are really tearing it up.
Thinking about this whole war, though, it kinda leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Huh?
Shirley.
Are you dissatisfied with our agreement, Shirley?
Nah, not really. Sure, it'd be fun to raise some hell with the others on the front lines, but I chose to come here. At first, it was just because Lady Belle asked me to. But now, I want to see this through to the end.
Very well, then. I trust you'll fight with your full strength. We'll need it to prepare the stage for the rivalry, after all. Though the victor should already be clear.
Yeah.
Despite being outnumbered, you seem confident about your chances of victory.
They're probably counting on the fortress to lend them power.
Indeed, Lecter and the Icy Maiden may have squandered its power. But unlike the two of them, I am the Vermilion Awakener. I can harness it to its full extent.
Such sinister energy.
I can feel it. The fortress has granted me power, and the energy from the war is flowing into me too. If I'm not careful, I'll end up slaughtering you all. It wouldn't do to make you an immortal now, would it, Rean? I'll take care to let you live for the sake of the rivalry. Even if you're barely clinging to life, it should still be fine.
You... A true noble would never act so disgustingly arrogant.
Your parents and your sister would be ashamed to see you now.
And also, Prince Olivert.
They're the ones bringing shame to our family. We are the descendants of Dreikel's Reise Arnor, the Lionheart Emperor. It is our duty to carry out his will. It is written in the Black Records themselves. What further evidence do you need?
Hey, Prince Cedric. Let me ask you something. What are you so afraid of?
What?
You've been a serious pain in the ass, but to be honest, I kinda like your style. Way I hear it, you used to be one hell of a scrawny shrimp, but you worked your ass off and actually got pretty strong. I mean, you're no match for me, but still.
Out of everyone at Thor's, you earned the top score on the midterm examinations. Your academic and military records are exemplary. You're more than suited to one day inherit the future of Erebonia.
Yet it's apparent there is something you lack. A good leader, a good person earns their people's trust through compassion and kindness. Traits you seem to be sorely lacking.
You're going to lecture me on what it means to be a person? You? A homunculus cooked up in a lab?
This is exactly what we mean. You saw what Allie and Milliam did back at the Grawl.
Altina was prepared to sacrifice her life to protect us. From you, no less. And it was Milliam who saved her, and the rest of us, by becoming the Sword of the End. They may have been artificially created, but their selflessness made them more human than any of us there. How can you not feel anything after seeing all that with your own eyes?
Kurt.
So what?
But when it comes to your brother and your dad, you start getting all worked up. And then when your sister tries to help you, you fly off the handle at her.
Don't you see, Elfin? That's exactly why I must do this! I'm just as glad as you to see him alive again. But feelings such as that are only for the weak!
You have this strange need to deny the love you hold for your family. Further, you have no consideration for others, yet the Chancellor's words are as holy scripture to you.
It doesn't make any sense. You realize it too, don't you?
You're the ones not making any sense!
As you said, the rivalry of the Seven's purpose is to reforge the Septarian of Steel. Each of the participants must have unshakable resolve. Let's say you are able to defeat Instructor Rean and Governor General Rufus. Cedric, are you truly prepared to fight Chancellor Osborne? The man you've chosen to follow?
What are you two reading this time?
It's one of Olivert's books. He's so cool. There's nothing he doesn't know.
Only because Mueller and Zex drilled so much into my brain. When you grow up, you'll learn all sorts of things too. The two of you may even put me to shame one day.
You don't have to call me Your Highness. You can just call me Cedric. I've always been jealous of how close our brothers are. We should be friends too. I mean, if that's okay with you, Kurt.
Of course, Cedric. We can be just like our ancestors, Emperor Dreikels and Roland Vander.
I've been having trouble sleeping lately. Whenever I start to drift off, that vermilion shadow appears. It's all around me, as if it's trying to swallow me whole.
Is that so? He must be another sacrifice. Or perhaps he finds himself in a similar situation as Dreikels once did.
What is that thing?
It should go without saying that it is all around you. It's part of you now, after all. More importantly, our dear Crown Prince is doomed to waste away at this rate.
Huh?
I suppose we have no other choice. I am hesitant to suggest it, but allow me to make a proposal, Your Highness. There's a chance you may forget all about this, so please, take your time and think it through before you give me your answer.
Why did I looked up to Chancellor Osborne. I truly believed supporting him was my duty. How could I have said such horrible things? How could I have done such things to my own family?
It's as we thought.
He finally snapped out of it. Yeah. He was under the control of the gnomes. No. The Ebon Knight.
Huh. Figured it was something like that. You started acting weird during all that crap at the Grawl. Maybe it's a stupid reason, but since our weapons share a name, I wanted to see where this went.
Huh? I definitely wasn't expecting that.
Hey! Get your shit together, Princey boy! So what if you're scared or embarrassed? You're really only here because you're being controlled? I don't buy it. It doesn't matter how messed up the truth is. It's still the truth, and it's still your truth. You accepted the Ebon Knight's call. You wanted power for yourself. It's easy to blame someone else, but you know the real reason you came here. It was your own selfishness. If you can't admit that much, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Hey now!
No, she's got a point.
Yeah. That would be a good first step.
That's right. I was so envious of Alfin, of Olivert, and of Reen and Kurt. All of you. I was envious of anyone who had the potential to become a true hero. All my life, people have compared me to Alfin. They would constantly talk behind my back. I know they found me lacking. And I've always envied Olivert's intelligence and his freedom. It's my fault he felt the need to relinquish the throne. You too, Kurt. I was born so weak, and I've always looked up to your strength and swordsmanship. But even so, you held on to that ridiculous complex of yours simply because of your build. As for the rest of you, you came to my rescue. You fought the Vermilion Apocalypse to set me free, and lost Crow as a result. Through all that, I was always sitting on the sidelines, watching tales of heroes unfold before my eyes, unable to join them. Had I enrolled at the main campus when I was supposed to, we might have become friends. I could have become one of you. Your Highness.
I had no idea.
Looks like he's finally ready.
Thank you, Shirley. And I thank all of you as well. You made me confront my weakness, and now I'll overcome it!
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe we should have just kicked you when you were down. Would have been easier that way.
Still, I think a fair fight's better.
I agree. It's pointless to fight someone who's busy fighting themselves.
Very well. We accept your challenge. Instructor Ring, everyone!
Right! I'll show you my resolve.
Guess I'd better go all out too!
Shatter! Warhammer!
It's down! An opening!
It's my turn! Arcus, activate!
An opening!
Yes! Ha! Are you okay?
Thanks! That was foolish. Back at you!
There!
I got your back!
Thanks for the help.
Let's go!
It's my turn. Arcus, activate!
Not going down that easy. All yours!
Leave it to me. Arcus, activate!
Ha!
Yeah!
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the help.
Let's go! Crimson Slash! Now! It's mine!
Oh, I'm feeling all tingly!
My turn.
Devour! Dark Moon Formation!
It's my turn! There!
I'm only just getting started!
I'll show you an ogre's power!
My turn! Yeah! It's my turn!
Impudent!
Yes!
Eternally flow. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8 leaves, breaking dawn!
Places, everyone! The curtain is drawn! Let the show begin! And now, the grand finale! Galaxia Falling! I do hope you enjoyed yourself.
For real?
This is my secret weapon. Holy light, gather in my bow. Take this! Gabriel Arrow! Repent for your sins.
Not bad.
Now, let's keep going.
I must train even more.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, I did it!
Stats updated. I did it! I did it!
There! It looks like we did it! Wow! So this is a rivalry, huh? Nice.
I must admit, Kurt, you truly are a worthy adversary. But the two of us will have to settle things another time. To me, Testarossa, the Vermilion Knight!
Very well.
Zalber Soldats!
He had them ready.
Heed my call! Valimar, the Ashen Knight!
Come! Ordine, the Azure Knight!
Acknowledged.
Alrighty! Now the real show's about to start!
Show him you're a real man now, Princey boy!
The time has come, Rean. You're the Ashen Chevalier, and the son of Chancellor Osborne. I admired you more than anyone. But now you stand against me as the hero of the Radiant Wings. I have no choice but to surpass you. The Vermilion Knight, once held by Emperor Hector, then the false Emperor Orthros, is now mine. And I will prove my worth as its Awakener.
Very well. I'll give it everything I've got, too. We'll fight each other on equal ground, as Awakeners.
Allow me to assist. Come on, let's get this party started.
Now, what say we finish this?
Let's go!
It's down! An opening!
Moving out.
They're down! You're wide open!
My turn.
Yeah!
There! It's mine!
You're mine!
It's my turn!
Shit! It's down! Enlightened domination!
My turn. Darkness, sunder them! What? There! You're wide open! My turn. There!
My turn.
It's my turn!
Now, bring it on!
Demon Spear, pierce! Take this!
Yes!
Take this! Moving out! They're down! Shoulder the cross of defiance! You're finished! My turn. It's down! It's mine! Demon Spear, pierce! You're mine! It's my turn! There! Shit! Moving out. You're mine! Here
I go! There!
Very well. Spirit! Moving out. They're down! You're wide open! Demon Spear, pierce! Let's go!
It's down! Enlightened domination!
Very well. Cha! There! It's mine! All right!
Darkness, sunder them!
What?
Got it.
It's my turn!
Now! An opening!
What? You're mine!
Let's go! This! It's down! It's mine!
What?
My turn. Yeah.
It's my turn!
It's down! An opening!
What?
All right!
Darkness, sunder them! What? Not yet. I'm far from finished.
Let's go!
What? Healing strike! You're mine! Rise from below! Thousand weapons at my command! Oblivion,
My turn! This!
Here I go.
Well, this bites.
My turn.
I appreciate it.
You're mine!
All right!
Darkness, sunder them! What?
Let's go!
It's down! An opening!
My turn. Ha!
Very well. There! What? There! It's mine!
You're mine!
I'm up!
Shit! What? It's down! Let's go, everyone!
Yes!
No problem! Get back! What? Starball Slash! What? What?
I gotta do something! Yeah!
What?
All right.
Showtime! They're down! You're wide open! What?
I'm up!
Now! Let's go, everyone!
Yes, sure thing!
What? Union Slash! Deadly Combination! But... how? We'll keep going for a brighter tomorrow!
So it's finally over. Nice.
They did it.
I... lost? What have I done? I helped start this war. I stood idly by when my father and brother nearly lost their lives. What was it all for? This can't possibly be real. It can't. It can't. Chancellor Osborn, Lecter, Rufus, Father, Mother, Alphen, Olivert. Tell me this is just a bad dream.
Your Highness,
No. This is real, isn't it? The truth was that I simply wanted strength above anything else. Now, I must accept the consequences. Isn't that right, Kurt?
Yes. I too hated my weakness and wanted to get stronger. We just happened to end up on different paths. But the past is the past. We need to see one another for who we are now. As equals. As rivals. But most importantly, as friends.
I knew you were too soft. I would expect no less from a Vander. No. From you, Kurt.
Is he going to be okay?
Yeah. It seems like he just lost consciousness. I can only imagine the toll all of this must have taken on him.
Even though he's not an immortal, I'm sure losing a rivalry didn't help him any. He probably burnt through all his mana.
Yes, I think that's likely.
We shouldn't just leave him here.
Don't worry about it. I'll keep an eye on him.
Shirley?
You look pretty drained, too. She must have been lending the prince her strength during the rivalry.
Yup, sure was. Usually I'd be able to fight for 3 days straight if I had to. But I'm not feeling so hot right now. Honestly, this might be your best chance at taking me down. I'm game if you want to try.
What is wrong with you?
Man, Randy was definitely right about her.
No. You've actually been holding back this whole time, haven't you, Shirley? I noticed it way back in the Grawl. Ever since then, you've been focused on looking out for Prince Cedric above anything else.
You're right.
Turns out you've got a soft spot after all, huh?
Not really sure how to explain it. I just can't shake the feeling I should be keeping an eye on him. Making sure he's okay. It's not like he's even my type. I'm way more into girls anyway. Huh. Maybe he's like a little brother to me. Oh, crap. Think I'm gonna need a nap soon. You've got to deal with Mr. Jade Rug next, but you might run into Lady Belle and Campy on the way. Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Thank you, everyone. It means a lot. And I'll do all in my power to see us through to the end.
This looks like a good spot to cast a line. Now...
Shit! There!
There's an opening.
Devour! Dark Moon Formation! Ha!
Here I go! You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him!
An opening!
My turn. Yeah. It's my turn. Yeah. Oh, did we win?
Hey-ya!
There's an opening.
Arcane Gale! Ha! It's down!
They're mine!
My turn. Ha! Yes! Ha!
Here I go! You can't escape! Fire!
Oh, did we win?
Transform! Healing strike! Now!
They're mine! All right! You can't escape! Fire!
Yes! Yeah! I'm going!
Ha!
Take this!
I'll care for you.
Thank you.
There! Now! I've got you! Good work, everyone.
Treasure located.
Ready. Ha! Now's our chance!
Arcus activate!
Arcane Gale! Ha!
Here I go! You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him! Get him, instructor!
Got it! Good work, Yuna. That was perfect.
Guess I must have a pretty good instructor, huh?
Ready. Hey-ya!
Now's our chance!
Cut through! It's down!
They're mine! All right! You can't escape! Fire!
Leave it to me. Ha! Oh, is everyone okay?
Watch out! This is a tough one. Shatter! Warhammer!
Arcane Gale! Ha! It's down!
They're mine! It's my turn! You can't escape! Fire! Wide open!
An opening!
My turn.
Ha!
Yes! Arcus, activate! There!
Yes! Arcus activate!
I'm going! Ha!
everyone okay?
Ready, ready. There!
There's an opening.
Arcane Gale! Ha! All right, nice work. Shit! Ha! Ready. Hey-ya!
Now's our chance.
You can't escape! Fire! Wide open!
An opening! Let's go! Arcane Gale! Ha!
Yes! Ha!
It's my turn.
Yeah! Yes! Ha!
I'm going.
Yeah!
Good work, everyone.
Ha! Shit! Hey-ya!
This one's tough. Be careful!
Shatter! Warhammer!
Roar! Healing strike! It's down!
They're mine! It's my turn! You can't escape! Fire! Wide open!
An opening!
Leave it to me.
Ha! It's my turn. Ha!
Leave it to me. Arcus activate.
Yes! Arcus, activate!
Ha!
Good work, everyone.
All right, got it!
Yeah, I did it!
I did it!
I grew a little.
Stats updated.
Oh, that's a nice-looking treasure chest.
Ready. There!
There's an opening.
Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation!
You can't escape! Fire! Wide open!
An opening!
Leave it to me. Pierce through! Rosetta Arrow!
It's my turn! Ha! All right, nice work.
I must train even more.
Ha! Shit! Ready. There!
Watch out! This is a tough one.
Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation! Roar! Healing Strike! Now! Let's go, everyone!
Understood!
Leave it to me. There!
It's my turn! Take this! Wide open!
An opening!
Yes! Let's go!
It's my turn.
Ha! Yeah! There! My turn! Yeah! Is everyone okay?
That's how it's done.
I did it!
Ready. There!
An opening!
Cut through! Now!
They're mine! Here I go! You can't escape! Fire! Let's get him!
An opening!
Leave it to me. Yeah! Just like that. Treasure sighted. Begin recovery mission.
Shit! There!
We'll end this quick!
Ignite! Crimson Lotus Formation!
Pierce through! Rosetta Arrow! Now!
I've got you! It's my turn! Ha!
Let's go! Arcane Gale! Ha!
It's my turn! You can't escape! Fire!
Oh, did we win?
Seen from above, the pathways here must be shaped like an M and a C. Mariabelle Croyce's initials. Or maybe M for Mariabelle and C for Campanella?
Sounds like a hell of a reach. The gnomes made this place over 1,000 years ago.
You're right. Trying to spot patterns everywhere is a bad habit of mine.
So you've survived the fourth rivalry after all. Color me impressed.
I guess the little prince just couldn't measure up. Given that he had the fortress's power, he should have had at least a 60% chance of winning. Oh well.
And knowing Shirley, she would have gone all out when it came to battle. Well, moving on. How do you care for our artistic embellishments? We figured this place could use some touching up.
Is this all just a game to you?
You two really are the worst.
I see McBurn's not with you. Even so, I can sense him. He's waiting for us somewhere in this fortress.
My, how perceptive! Those senses of yours are impressively sharp. Perhaps it's something you picked up from being the sacrifice.
It seems like McBurn has his own things he wants to take care of. But I've gotta say, he's been real fired up since your run-in at Orcus Tower. We promise not to play too rough. If you're curious, why don't you go check up on him yourselves after we're done here? Well, assuming you managed to make it past the Jade Rook too, of course.
Your words mean nothing. You don't even have any intention of taking this battle seriously.
It sounds like they're only going to do the bare minimum to fuel the rivalry.
That's right. The more I understand how the rivalries work, the more intrigued I am. They're very well designed. They're actually the perfect reference for my Ars Magna research. So please, don't hold back. I'll need every little bit of data I can get from you.
You really are the worst. You may be an Anguis, just like the Steel Maiden was, but you're nothing like her.
Oh my. I'm terribly sorry if I offended you. I considered dropping in to bid her farewell, but since we weren't especially close, I decided it wasn't my place. To be honest, though, I'm a little surprised McBurn didn't stop by.
Who knows? Maybe he already said his goodbyes. I'm sure our other members outside of Erebonia would have liked to pay their respects too. Oh well. That's just how things go sometimes.
I've got a question for you two. It might be a little late to be asking, but what happened to taking back your Phantasmal Blaze plan?
Ooh.
And why would you possibly be interested in that, little SSS fangirl?
It's because the SSS got wrapped up in it that I want to know. And now that we're on the topic, there are a bunch of things I just don't get about you. You go around pressing people's buttons and making evil grins, but I don't get the feeling you're as much of a jerk as you let on. And on top of that, people say you've looked exactly the same for the past decade. What even are you?
Oh?
Could he be a homunculus like me and Millium?
Nah. His facial expressions, the malice behind his grin, it all seems way too human. I don't get the feeling he's an immortal either.
And you, Mariabelle. Let's forget the fact that you're a scummy traitor for a moment. Why the heck did someone as self-absorbed as you swear allegiance to the Grandmaster?
I wondered that about Vita, too.
And even the Steel Maiden, she was a proud knight. Why would she serve such a group? Aren't the Enforcers free to do whatever too? If they want to leave the group, Ouroboros doesn't try to stop them at all. What kind of evil organization works like that?
The Guild's been wondering that for a while now, too. The Steel Maiden went off and did her own thing, and Sharon's quit completely.
Not just them, either. Joshua, Ren, Blue Blanc, the late Blade Lord, and one other I've heard about. If you add Vita too, then that's a lot of your group that's gone AWOL.
Yet here you are, acting like it's no big deal. This shit don't add up. Your whole group just doesn't act like a team at all. It's like... how do I put it?
Ouroboros is an organization comprised of people who work to further the Grandmaster's goals. But at the same time, your members are also part of some bigger experiment.
That's it! Wait, damn it, Ygritte! Why you gotta steal my thunder like that?
Wow! Those are some serious leaps of logic right there. But maybe this was bound to happen at some point.
That's right. Liberl and Crossbell's fate being swallowed by the Empire, the SSS's findings, the Gospel Plan. Anyone who cared to put together all these pieces should have been able to realize what was truly going on. But it certainly is surprising that it was you of all people who figured it out. Was it Mr. Ashen Chevalier's lessons that helped you hone that intuition?
No. To be honest, I'm just as surprised.
It actually makes perfect sense. She has the perspective of both Crossbell and the Empire, and the will to never give up.
It's thanks to both Instructor Reen's ability to bring out the best in people, and Yuna's own determination that she's come so far.
If Reen is the core of Class 7, then maybe Yuna is the bridge that links Class 7 to the world.
Whoa there! I think you're giving me way too much credit. I'm just trying to get as much info out of them as I can. Knowing them, they're just gonna get in our way, say something vague, and then vanish. You're standing against us right now because you feel like it. But I'm fighting back for the sake of those who believe in the future. I have no idea what Ouroboros is planning after the Great Twilight's over. But whatever it is, we'll put a stop to it. Just like we're going to stop you now!
Wow, not bad.
Yuna.
You tell him, girl.
Well said. I'm proud of you, Yuna.
My, that was absolutely splendid! Yuna Crawford. I must admit, I didn't expect such a fine diamond in the rough from the city I left behind.
Of course, it was Thor's Class 7 that cut and polished her. And thanks for that excellent little speech of yours. I think I'll actually go all out for once.
Damn it, of course they've got backup.
Brace yourselves, everyone! We're gonna have to give this everything we've got!
Let's begin, shall we? We were only planning to have a little fun with you. But seeing as you won't stop going on about togetherness and bonds, maybe it'd be fun to see what happens if I thin your ranks a little.
How about this? If you show me a good time, I'll throw in a little bonus. I'll share a juicy tidbit about the Society, if you win. Only information the Grandmaster has permitted me to share, of course. I want to hear you fight, and struggle, and cry out in pain!
Are all of you Ouroboros people actually insane?
You wanna fight? I'll give you a fight!
Class 7, prepare for battle. Don't be fooled by their tricks.
Fight them with everything you have, with the power of all our friends and allies! Right!
Welcome, one and all! Enjoy this carnival of pleasure and pain!
The harder you try, the more fun it'll be.
Shatter! Warhammer!
Roar! Healing strike! It's down!
They're mine!
Yes! Arcus, activate!
How about this? Frozen Prison! Yeah!
Come forth, my beloved creations!
Yes!
Places, everyone! The curtain is drawn!
By flowing mana.
All right! Let's get him! Get him, Instructor!
Got it!
What'd I tell you? Fun, huh?
This is my secret weapon!
Now I'll show you what I can really do!
It's my turn! Roar! Healing strike! It's down!
They're mine!
Time to switch seats. Shuffle, shuffle.
Nuh-uh!
Help me out now, would you? Alice, Shaw, Kanan, now, off you go!
Good luck! Thanks for the help. Leave it to me.
All right!
Switcheroo!
Sorry.
Wow,
everyone.
that's messed up. Here's a present. Go, go, go!
Hold on! Thanks for the help.
Let's see how this treats you!
Good luck! Thanks for the help.
Why? No.
My turn. Let's go. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the help. My turn. Arcus activate. Yeah. Leave it to me. Arcus activate. Ha! My turn. Thanks for the help.
It's my turn! Crimson Flash!
Ooh. You're sending shivers down my spine! Witness the power of the Wellspring Alchemist!
It's my turn!
Yes. Ha! Yes.
Hold fast! Black Tortoise Formation!
My turn. Let's go.
Ha! Switcheroo!
Sorry, everyone.
I'll show you the wonders of alchemy! Come forth, my darlings! It's time to play! Here I come! Kyrie Santa! Sleep tight now.
Here we go! Riot Flame! Ha!
Yes! Arcus, activate!
Here I go! You can't escape! Fire!
There!
Not bad.
Yes! Arcus, activate! Ha!
I appreciate it!
Thanks for the help. It's my turn. Arcus, activate!
Leave it to me. Arcus, activate.
There!
Ha! Impressive.
I'm going. Arcus, activate! There!
Here I go!
Let's go!
My turn. Ha! Let's do it.
I've got you! It's my turn!
Yeah!
Let's go!
It's mine.
Very impressive indeed.
You were amazing, Elisa! Just like always.
Well, I can't afford to lose to you.
We did it!
How'd you like that?
Dear me, how unexpected.
Oh, I even used the skills I copied from the Ironbloods, but it didn't make a difference.
I won't let you! I'm coming too!
My. You're not as easy to shake off as those simpletons from the SSS, are you?
Come on now. Do you seriously think you can capture us?
No, I doubt we'd be able to. And honestly, I wish I could just tell you to get out of our sight.
Further, attacking wounded opponents would bring no honor.
But you said you'd give us more info. So it's time to pay up.
What the hell happened with the Phantasmal Blaze plan? Let's start with that.
Oh, fine. The truth is, the plan is still in effect. In fact, it's nearly at its end. Once the rivalry of the Seven has been completed, our objective will be met.
How come Vita wasn't even aware that your goal had changed?
Well, that's because she just wanted to lift the curse through those pseudo-rivalries she was setting up. We, on the other hand, are here to witness the reformation of the Great One. Though, to be honest, we don't actually care whether or not all its pieces stick together properly.
What do you mean?
In other words, your goal isn't to claim the two Septarians, but rather, you intend to return the power divided among the Divine Knights back to one.
And it doesn't matter to you if it's properly reformed or not?
That's right. We don't care if they disappear either, the same way the Septarian of Mirage did. Observing the path each of the 7 Septarians take when dropped into mankind's hands in this possible world. That is our goal. The driving force behind the Grandmaster's plan.
Possible world?
What the hell does that even mean?
I'm afraid those who are still bound by the shackles of this world wouldn't be able to comprehend our mission. Not everyone can be on the same level as Professor Epstein, after all. For now, don't worry your pretty little heads about it. Just focus on the rivalries ahead. Rufus is waiting for you on the top floor, by the by. Oh, and he's got Alberic with him. You might want to be careful with that one.
The chief of the gnomes is there too?
Ugh. An ion!
So they've been hiding them here in the fortress.
In all honesty, you lot aren't half bad. You exceeded our expectations, at the very least. Mick Byrne might finally be able to accomplish his long-held plans if he's up against you guys. I'm sure he'd appreciate it if you went and paid him a visit.
Regardless of how this tale ends, Ouroboros will carry on with the Grandmaster's plan. We will soon move on to the third stage of the Orpheus final plan. Who knows? I may just be lucky enough to encounter some of you again, someplace or other. Oh, and by the way, Yuna dear, would you mind passing a message from me to Ellie and your other friends at the SSS? Please tell them. We'll meet again someday. Oh, and that I'll be rooting for Crossbell's independence.
This looks like a good spot to cast a line.